Hello everyone. This is the third lecture of the bridge engineering in transportation engineering, right? So in the previous two lectures we have studied about the what is bridge. We saw some of the bridges which is constructed in India, and those are the one of the longest and the biggest ones, right? And we saw that uh, what are the components of the bridges, right? Various components that are there in the bridge, and also we studied the various terms that we use in the during the construction of the bridge engineering, right? During the construction of bridges. So today we are going to study about classification of bridge, what type of bridges are there. Okay, they are also divided into different types depending upon different aspects and functions, right? Depending upon the materials, there are on different parameters these bridges are being classified, right? So we'll see that today, and we'll see what are the criterias, or what where we can construct the bridge. We can't construct a bridge anywhere we want, right? So we have to identify the place. So what are the parameters, or what are the things that we have to consider while selecting the site for a bridge construction, right? It is a very huge structure where a lot of finance is required, so we can't construct over a very weak soil and it gets destructed or demolished in which affects the bridge in and will not serve the purpose, right? So for that purpose, what we do is we check for the various criterias or parameters for the site selection of bridges. So we'll go for the classification of bridge. The first type is according to the life. According to life means depending upon its lifespan, right? Depending upon its lifespan, the bridges are divided into two parts, two types. It is first one is temporary bridge, second one is permanent bridge, right? Here nothing is to be explained. You have to just understand this classification, and this classification will be asked for 10 marks. So you have to write the whole of classifications, right? Just name them, that's enough. Okay. So temporary bridge means which is constructed for temporary purpose. During the construction work of some other structures, you require small bridges to be constructed. So you construct out of timber, right, which is easy to dismantle, or you can construct for a small steel bridge, not for higher ones, which we saw, right? The Bogeybill bridge that we saw in the first lecture, right, which was rail and road come. It was also steel structure, but those are permanent ones, right? A small temporary steel structure is also can be constructed for a smaller spans, right? So in that case, those bridges which are used for less for selected purpose and for a small duration is called temporary bridge. Permanent bridges are those bridges which are constructed for a lifespan of around 60 to 70 years, right? It can work for more, but we have designed it for 60 to 70 years, and this might be of steel, RCC, or pre-stressed concrete bridges, right? So in that, if they ask the examples, write the examples of temporary bridges, you can write timber and steel. And in case of the permanent ones, you can write stone masonry, brick masonries, right? RCC, pre-stressed concrete, and steel bridges will come into the permanent bridges, right? Next is according to the loading. See, what happens is bridges take the loads from the vehicles, right? And there are a lot in India. There are number of vehicles and different types of vehicles are there depending upon their uh, purpose, right? So there are trucks, there are bulldozers, there are carts, there are vehicles, there are bullock carts. So it is a mixed traffic where all type of vehicles move over that road and the bridges. So in that case, we have we classify the bridges depending upon its loading also. The first one is Class AA bridge. This Class AA bridge means where you can it is designed for such a loading of around 80 tons, where the military tanks can also be moved. Not all bridges have been designed for that, right? This these bridges with the class A bridge, these bridges are able to withstand the load of a military tank. Okay, right? Military tank, which is a chain wheel, not normal wheels. It has a chain wheel, right? So not all roads or bridges can hold those, which can withstand that loading. Next is Class A bridge. And also one more point to be remembered: in the Class AA bridges, the roads are designed to such a way that where you can have a n number of vehicles of military, uh, and also uh, the landing or takeoff of the choppers can also be done, right? Landing and lifting of choppers, right? Class A vehicles are those vehicles where uh, it is lower to the Class A bridges, and the loading is little bit lower to it, right? As I said, these roads bridges are not of that capacity of that of Class A bridge. Here also, because what happens is, during the case of emergencies or during the case of war scenarios, there should be a proper communication routes for the transport of the men and material, right? Tanks, trucks, right? Artilleries, all those various components of the defense purpose required to transfer from one place to another place, those are taken into considerations. Moving of cranes, right? So all those things are there. So for that purpose, we divide the bridges into different loadings. Class B bridge is for normal cases in the national highways, and Class A and Class B are uh, provided in the national highways depending upon the its requirement, right? According to the span length, according to the span length, culverts are those bridges which has a span less than 8 meters. Those bridges which are has a span less than 8 meters are also called, the question might be twisted like this, right? They might ask like this, that the bridge which has a span less than 8 meters is called as, then you have to say it as culvert. You have to say it as a culvert. Next is minor bridges. The span between 8 to 30 meters. Okay, span the bridge with the span of in between 8 to 30 meters, then those bridges are called as minor bridges, right? The bridges whose span length is more than 30 meters, then those bridges are called as major bridges. And the long span bridges where the span above 120 meters is called as long span bridges. Next is according to the purpose: aqueducts, viaducts, grade separations, and footbridges. The first one is the aqueduct, which is constructed over the river, right? So it is also called as aqueduct. Viaduct is which aqueducts are those which carry a channel as the bridges carry the vehicular traffic, right? It might be vehicles, road vehicles, or it might be a train that it is moving over it. But here we are trying to construct a bridge of multi spans, right? which carries a canal or a channel in which the water flows. The bridge is constructed to allow the water to flow from one point to another point. So that type of bridges are called aqueduct. And viaduct are those a multi-span bridge, right, of a longer height, uh, carrying the rail and road traffic is called viaduct. And what is grade separation? Grade separation is nothing but we have talked about the grade separation in the highway class, right? Same thing here. Grade separation is nothing but at a higher level, which are built to raise the height of a road from one point to the another point, right? If I show that grade separation here, this is a road level, so you want to you want to reach like this or have some height. You want to fly over here along this road, so this becomes your grade separation. Why grade separation? Grade means what? Level. So it is separating the levels of the two different roads. Here also there is a road, right, and this is also a road, right? So that is a grade separation. I will show the various mm, uh, types of bridges images in the coming classes, right? We'll understand them. What is footbridge? Footbridges are those bridges which are majorly provided near the heavy traffic roads, so that the pedestrians need not have to cross the roads, right? The bridge is being provided for them to climb the bridge and to cross the road from one point to the another point of the road. You might have seen these footbridges near the bus stands and railway stations, and you might have seen these footbridges in the railway stations. When you want to move from one platform to another platform, right, you have these footbridges where you climb the footbridge and go to the another platform, right? So that is a type of footbridge. Next is highway bridge, the bridge which is constructed for the highway purpose. Railway bridges are those bridges which carry the rails or trains, right? According to the material used in the construction. According to the material used in the construction means what? The material which is used for the construction purpose. Those depending upon that also we have classified the bridges. First is we are going to use the timber as a building material or the bridge construction material. So that it is a timber bridge. Masonry bridge. In the masonry bridge, it might be of stone masonry or it might be a brick masonry, right? Next is iron or steel bridges, where we are going to use steel or iron as a material. Next is reinforced concrete bridges. Next is pre-stressed concrete bridges. According to the material used for a structural form. The girders or the substructure part, you can say, right, or the superstructure part where it is connected with the substructure. That part, structural form, on what structure you are going to provide, like T-beams, girders, suspension cables. All these are the forms of structure which carry the load and transfer the load to the substructure, right? So depending on what type of structural forms you are going to provide the bridges, upon that the classification is been done. First type is, in this also there is a type, it is called as bridge type, beam type bridges, where there is RCC T-beam, bridge, balance cantilever, steel girders, plate girders, box girders, and truss and portal frame bridges. Next is arch type bridges. Okay. Then there is suspension type, where ramp and testral bridges are being provided. According to the alignment, straight alignment and skew. Skew means inclined alignment. Okay, if I show you that this is your flowing river, right, and you construct a bridge perpendicular to this, right, perpendicular to the river, then it is called a straight bridge. This is your river again, and you construct a bridge in this fashion, okay, in the inclined manner, then this type of bridge is called as skew bridge. It is called as skew bridge, which is inclined in nature. This type of bridges are not being provided. We usually provide a straight bridges only. We try to provide straight bridges only. According to the level of bridge floor, deck bridge, semi-through bridge, and through bridges. I will explain this in the coming lectures with the images, right? Because it is a very important thing to be understood. According to the position of high flood levels, submersible bridges, non-submersible bridges, right? In this high flood level bridges, where submersible bridges means during the rainy season, this bridge goes under the flood, right? It is under the flood. We can't use this bridge during the rainy seasons because it goes under the river. And non-submersible bridges are those which doesn't submerge into the river, okay, at a greater height. According to the flexibility of the superstructure, fixed span bridges, where the span of the bridge is fixed, it doesn't changes. Most of the bridges are of this type, where the span of the bridges have been fixed. Next is the movable bridge, where we can move the bridges. It might be you can increase its span or decrease its span, and also you have a Tower Bridge. If London, you might see where the bridge opens and closes depending upon the navigable ships. So this is what a viaduct is. This is a viaduct where you have multiple spans and at a longer height, right? It is called as viaduct. And this is an arch type beam bridge where there is an arch, right? This is an arch, right? So this is an arch type bridge. This is a culvert which span is less than 8 meters. So it is called as culvert. This is a steel bridge, multi-span steel bridge. This is a suspension bridge where the suspension cables, these are the cables, right? This is your piers of 2 points, and to hold this bridge the main cables are being laid in this direction, which are being held by this piers, and to hold that we have tenders like this, these cables, right? So it is in suspension, so it is called as suspension bridge. This is called as, so type of suspension bridge, but it is a, these both are steel type, steel, made up of steel. These are RCC bridges where you can see the structural form is T-beam. Okay, T-beam bridges where the structural form below the above the pier you have a T-beam, over which you construct the roads. Next is, these are some of the examples. I am going to show more examples in the coming lectures. Site selection of the bridge. The nature of river and its bed soil. Depending upon the type of soil, whether it is a very harsh river or whether it is a calm river, means a river, that it depends upon the flow or the discharge of velocity. Depending upon that, we consider the, if the bed soil is hard, then we try to construct here. Next is grade and alignment. How is the alignment of that bridge? Whether it is straight, whether it is skew, how much, what is the grade? Depending upon the high flood levels of the river, we decide the grade of the bridge. So these are the factors which govern. If it is skew, we try to avoid it. Next is physical features of the site. At the site where the bridge is being constructed, right? What are the physical features of that site? What type of stones have been used, are there? How the weather conditions are there? So whether we can get locally available materials for the construction of the bridges. So all those things are being looked in the physical features. Foundation conditions. So depending upon the soil and the geological features of the ground, we decide the type of, we consider the type of foundation to be used, right? Subsoil conditions of the bed, the same thing. The foundation conditions, where we decide the type of foundation depending upon what, depending upon the subsoil conditions. Subsoil conditions means below the soil. When you go below the soil, below the soil surface, you will see the various layers. We study the various layers of the soils. We try to understand what type of soil it is and what type of foundation would be suitable for that type of soil. Next is hydrological data. Hydrological data comes near when you are constructing the bridge near the river, on the river. The full depth of the river, the discharge, the velocity of the river, right? What type of chemical ingredients that are present in the water, and also the high flood levels and the low flood levels of the river, right? Means at what highest depth till now it has, the water has flown through this part of the river, right? Next is climatic conditions. The site where you are considering to construct a bridge, what type of bridges, what type of climate is there in that area, right? Depending upon that, we have to select the type of bridge, right? Availability of materials and funds, that we also look in the physical features, whether there are materials available locally for the construction work and whether there are funds to construct this bridge. This is also looked into aspect. Availability of the skilled and unskilled laborers locally, because if we have to transport the labors or the materials, it takes the transportation charges also to be considered. So that is also looked after. So to reduce the price or the cost of the bridge, we try to get the local laborers which are skilled and also unskilled. Next is strategical considerations, means that is defense considerations. This bridge becomes, some bridges are of strategical importance when we construct the bridges near the border areas or which connects the main part of the main stream roads to the border roads. So that road becomes a link for the defense purposes or strategical importance to transfer the men, material and troops in the emergency conditions. Time limit within which the construction to be completed, that is also important, because if the time increases, then the cost of the construction also increases. So The time limit also is considered. And volume and nature of traffic. Once the bridge is being constructed, what would be the traffic and the volume of the traffic? Means what? What type of vehicles will move in this road? So depending upon that type, we will consider the loading of the bridge, right? So type of roads, how much uh, traffic will be moving over this bridge once the bridge is constructed. That has been assessed before the construction of bridge and the design is done. The level of high flood level and the clearance requirement. What is the requirement of freeboard? What should be the freeboard? What should be the height of the bridge? So all this depends upon the high flood level, right? Next is portable life of the structure. What is the lifespan of that structure? And the length and the width of the bridges. The length depends upon the length of the obstruction and the connectivity length, and width depends upon the how many lanes you are going to construct, and the volume and traffic of the volume of the traffic depends upon the volume of the traffic. Next is the live load likely to be coming over the bridge. Live load means what? The moving load that is going to come over the bridge. Economical span length, right? What would be the economical span for such type of, depending upon the type of the bridge we decided. So that is also considered while selecting the site for the bridge. Cost of maintenance, right? What would be the cost of maintenance? It should not be higher than the initial cost. So these are the some of the points while we consider while selecting the bridge site, right? We also saw the classification of bridges, on what basis we classify, and whatever today in today's lecture we have studied, right? That is the site selection and also the classification. These are the two important and very regularly coming questions in the exams. These questions come regularly in the every exam. So this both carries around 10 marks, right? These both questions carries around 10 marks. So this lecture is very important point as a point of view of exam point of view. So this becomes a very important lecture for your exam point.